Happy Monday evening. It is Monday, August 19th, in the year 2024. And just another video to quickly mention a couple of things. And I say quickly, I hope it'll be quick. I don't plan on taking a whole lot of your time tonight. But in recent days, I've posted a lot of things. I also share a lot of things that others on my friends list post. That would be memes, articles, and their personal opinions. And if I share it, it's because either A, I agree with it, or B, I find it amusing and thought you might as well. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. There are a couple of issues that I post about quite frequently. You should know this by now. One of them is certainly political issues. And you may or may not agree with some of the things I post, and that's fine. You should know that I don't post them in order to make you agree with me or to try to convince you to agree with me. I post them because it's what I believe, it's what I think, it's how I approach certain issues. And if you do agree with it, well, that's great. That's a bonus. I've also learned over the years, having been there and tried to have discussions with people, that arguing with folks over these things is a waste of time. Maybe there are certain chat rooms out there which have rules for engagement, so to speak. I'm not on any of those chat rooms. I simply do Facebook, make my YouTube videos. And I'll post occasionally on the local, and by local I mean Richmond, news Facebook pages, 6812 and Richmond Times Dispatch, things like the John Reed Show, the Jeff Katz Show, places like that. And occasionally there are people who will respond in agreement and others who will respond and want to argue with me. I don't even engage them anymore. It's a waste of time. In order to engage with someone like that in the hopes that we're going to offer up ideas, facts, just reasons why you might want to consider what I've said and why you might want to change your mind or vice versa. That has become ever more difficult to do. And I learned this years ago because I tried to do that with people. I would offer up facts. I would say, hey, dude, check this out. Here's some information you might want to consider. Oh, you're a racist. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're a MAGA. I mean, it's amazing to me how these people get through the day. They are so stupid and short-sighted and unable to think critically. It's astounding. I just really don't know how they make it through a day. So I just quit doing it. When I post something, I post it again because it's what I think, what I believe. And again, I hope it might influence some people, but if it doesn't, well, so be it. But how do I come to these opinions, you might ask? What makes me think the things that I believe? Well, one of them is life experience. I've been around the sun a few trips and seen some things, heard some things, done some things that have helped me to learn about life in these United States and life as a human being on this planet. I've paid attention to human nature and the things that affect other people and how it affects them and why. I read history. Look behind me here. I think I've done this before, but I'll do it again. Now, I've got two bookshelves up here in my computer room. Let me move the camera around a little bit here and see how I do with this. All right, so there's my other bookshelf. Okay. And you may be asking yourselves, well, yeah, but I bet he doesn't really read all those books. Yeah, actually, if they're on the bookshelf, that's where they go after I've read them. The books I haven't read, let's see. You see this basket behind me with the sign on it? And then there's another one. Let me see again if I can get this up here where you can see. All right, there's a basket back there. Got the two Confederate flags in it that have books that are on the reading list. They're books that have been purchased by myself or for me, and I have not gotten to reading them yet. So they're in that basket. That's how I know I haven't read them yet. I'm currently reading this book. Now, this is not necessarily a political book. It is fascinating, however. It's called Israel on the Appomattox by Melvin Patrick Ely. Really neat book. I'm only 2 chapters into it right now, but it's about a community of freed slaves. That's a bit of a misnomer, isn't it? Free slaves. No, freed slaves. And they created their own community on the Appomattox River in Prince Edward County. So it's not far from here. In fact, one day I'd like to take a trip down there just to check it out and see what's there at that site now. Anyway, it's a fascinating book, as I've said so far. So, yes, I do read these books, and I've got 5 more bookshelves downstairs with everything from the history of the War of the Rebellion. That would be the War for Southern Independence, political science, the Revolutionary War and that period and the founding of our nation, and just a variety of other books, some of them that predate 1865, which make for fascinating reading. So, yeah, I do read the books. And I learn things from these books, and I take what I learn from these books and I bring it into contemporary time and culture and see how we've changed and why and whether it's good or bad thing. So that's how I come to my opinions. Now, again, you can agree or disagree. That's entirely up to you. But when I, again, as I did in the past, would try to explain to somebody, well, this is why I think this. And then they would come back with, well, you're stupid. Well, you're dumb. Well, you're this, you're that. They could never offer, either couldn't or wouldn't offer a counterpoint or anything factual. It was always just, well, I can't argue with him, so I'm just going to call him stupid. I mean, why would you waste time with people like that? So anyway, there's that. The other thing I post a lot about, and that's been most recent, is medical issues. And again, some of you can disagree with that if you like. That's fine. Whatever works for you. I'm not a doctor. Don't pretend to be one. Never went to medical school, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. But what I am is a thinker. I don't just take something that someone says, whether he's wearing a white coat or a badge or a $1,000 suit and works in Washington or Richmond, at face value. Just because you say it doesn't mean I'm going to believe it. I tend to be skeptical about everything and everyone until I can find out otherwise. When I do read things on the internet, as I have been admonished by doctors, among others, well, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. Well, duh. As if I didn't know that already. Oh, no. I saw the meme where Abraham Lincoln said that social media is bad for the country. And if Abraham Lincoln said it, it must be true. Right? I mean, that's how stupid some people must think I am. Now, when I read something, especially about medical issues, as I have done a great deal in the last 2 years, I learn things. And I'm reading stuff written by doctors, scientists, and researchers with the proper pedigree and degrees and education. So it's not like I'm just reading the blog from some neighbor of mine down the street. I'm reading stuff written by people who have the knowledge. Now, just because that knowledge disagrees with the AMA or the government or the media doesn't mean it's wrong. You remember the doctors who were coming out when COVID started making the rounds, and they were saying, hey, COVID's no worse than a cold. Treat it like you would treat a cold or the flu. This group here, this age group, may be at risk, the 65 and older age group, of which I'm a part. And anyone younger than that, treat it like a cold. Masks, waste of time, blah, blah, blah. You've seen the stories. I don't need to repeat all that. Well, those doctors were given such a ration of crap, and they had their licenses threatened, and they were censored on social media. We can't listen to those people. They're crazy conspiracy nuts. Anybody been watching the news lately? Anybody been keeping up, paying attention? Who's right and who's wrong on that issue? And now, of course, they want to come at you with monkeypox. So it's always something. And as long as they keep getting away with it, they're going to keep trying it. I mean, that's human nature, isn't it? So when I question medical issues, when I question topics regarding medicines or treatments, sometimes I'm damned convinced of it. Other times I'll post stuff simply because it's causing me to have to rethink some things, and I wanted to put it out there for my friends and let you look at it, excuse me, and see what you think. See if you agree or disagree. Maybe you'd like to do a little bit more research. That's one of the things I do if I see a meme that purports to bring factual information out, or I see a video. I'll check out, all right, who's this doctor? And I'll find the name and I'll Google the doctor. Is he a real doctor? If he's not a real doctor, then I'm going to take what he says with a grain of salt, if at all. If he is a real doctor, then I'm going to think, all right, well, now, why does he think that? Why is he saying that when other doctors are saying something different? Maybe he is nuts. Maybe he's full of crap. But my general way of thinking when it comes to that is, who's making money off of convincing me of something? Is when my doctor says, oh, you need a statin to lower your cholesterol, despite the fact that my body needs cholesterol, that my body produces its own cholesterol, then I tend to be a little skeptical and think, well, wait a minute. If the body needs cholesterol, if autopsies on Alzheimer's victims shows that the brain had a serious lack of cholesterol being needed for the brain to function properly, then you might say, well, who's making money off of me if I use this statin drug? Is it the guy on social media saying, you know what, your body needs cholesterol. A cholesterol count of 300 or higher is not dangerous. It's not bad for you. It's not going to kill you. There are other things that are more dangerous that you're ingesting into your body. I'm probably going to give that guy a little credence and look into it a little further. Okay? So this is how I come to the way I think on certain issues. And look, I'm not trying to set myself up as some paragon of knowledge when it comes to things in the political realm or the medical realm. I'm just like most of you. When I grew up, if the doctor said do something or take this, okay, you're the doctor. It wasn't until I started getting a little bit older and I started noticing people taking all these drugs and they weren't getting any relief. You don't see or hear any doctors talking about curing something, getting rid of it, getting to the root cause of the problem. It's all about, let's just treat the symptoms. Well, at some point, I just started thinking, well, wait a minute, why is no one trying to find out why? Why are we not getting as much knowledge as we have, as many advancements as we're supposed to have made in the fields of science and medicine? Why is no one talking about curing any of this stuff? And then, of course, over the last 3 years, as many of you know, I've had my own medical issues, which I've had to deal with and make decisions about. And I ask a lot of questions. Met a new doctor last week. He's actually a PA, but my regular doctor couldn't see me. So they said, well, we'll get you in to see the PA. I told the PA right up front, I said, look, I don't know if you've talked to Dr. So-and-so and found out about me. I said, but I am a problem patient. And he looked at me like, well, why would you say that? I said, because I ask a lot of questions and I don't do everything the doctor tells me. And you need to know that right up front. He said, all right, that's fine. I'll tell you what I think you need to know and you can take it or leave it. I said, all right. So at least we started that relationship off on the right foot. He knows who I am and I know who he is now. But that's why I post these things. If it helps you in any way, if it gives you something else to focus on and do some research on, dig a little deeper, then feel like I've done something helpful. Ultimately, it may prove to be a waste of time, but you don't know if you don't look. So when it comes to political issues, yeah, I have my opinions, as you all very well know. And I will post about them. But again, I'm not posting in the hopes that I'm going to gather around me all sorts of friends and supporters who agree with me. I'm just posting it to let you know that's what I think on the issue. And if we agree and you can say, well, see, I'm not the only one that thinks that way. Floyd agrees, for whatever that's worth. At least you're not the only one who thinks that way. And when it comes to medical issues, again, I am genuinely concerned, not just for my own health, but my wife, my children, my friends. I want you to be healthy. If you do have health issues, I would hope that you would be able to find a doctor who actually cares about you and wants you to get well, not just throw pills at you, not just treat the symptoms, never making them go away, just covering them up. I want you to find somebody who can help you. And I understand, and you need to understand this as well, you have to be your own advocate when it comes to your health. No one else is going to do it for you, not even your spouse. Your spouse doesn't know all the right questions to ask. They don't know all the things that you might be concerned about or that you might want to know. So you have to be the one to check into this stuff, to do the research, to ask the questions, to be a pain in the ass. Because let's face it, if you walk into a doctor's office and just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and go, yes, sir, how high would you like me to jump? They're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you. They're going to give you whatever they want to give you. And don't pretend for 1 second they actually care if you get well or not. After they see you, they've got 30 other patients to see. They're going to be in and out of there in 5 or 10 minutes and go on to the next one. And the next time you go to see him, he may or may not remember you, even though you see him typing in their little computer, taking all these notes. But then when you go back to see him again, they're going to remind me why you're here. Remind me, who are you again? That's just the nature of the beast. I hate to say it because I grew up in a different era. But doctors today, if they remember your name, it's probably because they're able to make a lot of money off of you. Anyway, I won't keep boring you with all this stuff. I just wanted you to know briefly why I post the things I post. And again, agree or disagree, it's entirely up to you. But at least you know where I stand on an issue. And if I don't know where I stand on an issue because I haven't learned enough about it yet, I'll tell you. And then I'll start doing some research and trying to find out a little more about it. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.